Hello, everyone. I'm Janine McGregor, and I'm a member of the Lambertville Community Advisory Team. I'm here today with Debbie and Ed Closson, the owners of the Homestead Market and of the parcel of land that surrounds it, which is currently for sale and for which the city has entered into a contract to potentially purchase. Very soon, the CAT will be sending out a survey to gain an understanding of the community's values regarding this property. So today, we're going to conduct a Q&A session that we hope will provide background and context about the Closson property and will assist people filling out the survey regarding its future use. So Debbie and Ed, thank you so much for being here and for giving us some of your valuable time and to help us with this task.
Thank you.
welcome.
We look forward to it.
So we have 5 questions. I'll just jump right in and get started. Number 1, can you describe for listeners who may not know what this property is comprised of? What buildings and other uses are on the property?
Sure.
Wow.
So it's the property is 8.9 acres, and it consists of Homestead Market, of course, and then the historic Holcomb House, 4 barns and a greenhouse, and our home. The Holcomb House and the garage are on the south side of the driveway and the creek.
Okay.
Which also has the sledding hill. And then the rest of the buildings are on the north side. And there's the 1 barn and the greenhouse are used to support Homestead. The rest are basically used for storage.
Okay.
And then there's a lot of open space that we use to grow also.
Okay, you do use that property to grow.
Mhm.
It can. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Can you give us a brief history of the property? Now, we don't need to go back to revolutionary times, which I know is important and really interesting, but just maybe if you can speak about how the property was being used, like what year you took it over and how it was being used at that point, and how you developed and implemented your vision, including the market and any other community use.
So basically, it's always been in our family. So it was deeded in 1705 to John Holcomb, and it's always been farmed. Initially, it comprised of over 600 acres, I think.
Basically, almost from York Street north to the Alex Auken Creek.
Right. And so that would have
Wow.
included where
Yeah, it was a big piece of ground.
and that would have included where the Orleans development is today. And then also on the other side, it would have included like the firehouse, the school, and Ely Field, which his grandparents had donated to the city back in the mid 40s.
Great grandmother.
Great grandmother
Sure.
back in the mid 40s. So it's always kind of been there. And then Ed's grandparents.
Well, no, my grandfather died in 1940. And when my father got home from World War II is when they put the utilities to the farmhouse, and his mother moved to the farmhouse.
Mm.
And he moved there as well.
Yeah, they moved together.
Uh,
But prior to that, they were living in the house that now occupies the Sunoco gas station. There was a home
there was
there.
a large Victorian house on that corner.
Really?
That's where my father and his brother, and that's where their family lived. That's where they
Wow.
grew up.
And so this was some kind of like sort of farmland at the other side of town that was used as farmland.
This came down through my father's mother's family. So this was, always here.
And it was always,
Farmed
tenant farmers.
Tenant farmers.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Okay.
So then in the mid 70s is when Ed and his brother and his parents moved up here full time. And then, so his father retired, and then his father also had a strong interest in farming.
So we always grew some stuff, had some chickens.
And then we got married in 1985, and they were still farming, and we started out by wanting to grow or to sell the excess at the end of the driveway. When we went for approvals, city council said, no, you have to put up a formal market.
Oh, boy.
So that's how Homestead was
Hoping
born.
all the time that we wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that's cool.
so I'd like to say that we had this incredible vision, but we kind of happenstanced into it, but it
Wow.
worked out well.
Wow. Well, that's even more exciting kind of that, it wasn't your vision and it just sort of evolved naturally,
Yeah.
organically. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Mhm.
Is there anything else you can tell us about the larger property? I know we've gone through some of this before. And I mean, the historic home and the open space that we probably don't know, or something that's interesting that some people don't know. I mean, I've heard a few of the stories from you guys in the past, but if there's anything about the larger property and the home you can tell us.
I think what most people probably don't realize is that it's never been sold. It's been in our family since 1705, which is really kind
Yeah.
of cool. There's all kinds of stories about George Washington.
Yeah.
What we do know and what we can prove is that had breakfast and
Well, they held meetings there.
yeah, did planning sessions prior to the Battle of Monmouth.
And I think the Battle of Germantown.
Yeah,
Oh,
so that's kind of cool.
yeah, that's great. That's amazing. So in regard to the market, which has, been so vital and so active over the past several years, what was an accomplishment that you're proud of, or an event that happened that surprised you, or that you'd like to share? Is there anything about the market that happened over the past several years?
Well, I think, as we just said, like we kind of got into it happenstance. And
Oh, we're real glad that it worked.
yeah, and we just celebrated our 31st year, which is, we're proud of that. Ed studied agronomy. I was in business, so it kind of melded together. And I think, when we first opened, there was a lot more plant focus. And then, Home Depot opened and Lowe's opened and so forth. So that part of the business kind of went away. And then we're pretty grateful we were able to just kind of change our tune and our direction to go along with what the people needed. And so then, as working parents, started working longer, our prepared food business took off. I think one of the things that I'm really proud of is, we have a lot of senior citizens in the area, and we were able to provide them a single serving of food. They could just come in and get their dinner and not have to buy, a total amount. So that was really good.
It's a great point.
I think mostly this year, like with the pandemic, was crazy. So I think we're really proud that we were able to open early. We served everyone safely.
Everybody was happy because it was wide open and
yeah. So we were lucky and proud
limited
of
number
that.
of people in the store at one time trying to keep.
Yeah.
And especially proud of our staff, because without them,
yeah, they're great. In the time that the property has been in your family, what has it meant to you and your family, or even if you could say to the community, if you've gotten feedback from other people?
Well, I don't know.
I think, so it's been in the family forever. I came late into the picture.
Yeah.
And I still vividly remember, like, I was always Ed's wife, never a local, which I'm sure a lot of people can resonate with.
Yes.
But, it was, my in-laws just absolutely loved it. My father-in-law, this was, a dream for him. And
you mean the success of the shop, the success
I
of
think just the whole property.
He lived on the farm.
He really did. And then when we opened, he was vital. I mean, he would come down and, in his older years would just sit in the back and talk to people coming in and out. And, he was the one that really started first growing a lot of stuff. He would come down with all his harvest and we'd sell it in the market. So, that's really kind of important, because he really loved it. And my mother-in-law was, so he was a surgeon, and I think he was really progressive in his thoughts about nutrition and diet as far as health goes. And my mother-in-law was the same way. So when it wasn't, in the 60s, 70s, when processed food and all that stuff kind of came into play, they never went that route. And so it really instilled, I think, in Ed too, this want of local food and where it comes from, et cetera. So that was really important. And then, when my father-in-law he was instrumental in helping us, get the market open. So I think for them and for us, it was just, it's just so important to them.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's an amazing story.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
think, for us too, like, well, Jesse's Andrew's age. I mean, to raise our son and his friends
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
the sledding hill and
Yeah.
all that
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, people have memories of the horses in the meadow, the cows on the hill. The tenant farmers drove their sleigh down Main Street. So it just
Cool.
lot,
Yeah.
lot of good stuff.
Well, I think next you have to write a book, maybe. Maybe that's your next. This has been, to me, really interesting, and I hope to everyone else. I hope it'll be useful to everybody. It's great to hear these stories from you guys, and I know there's many, many more. I'll just say that the CAT really appreciates the time you're taking here to help us to reach out to the community in a significant way. And on behalf of the CAT and myself, I thank you. I thank your family. I thank the Homestead family because they've all been amazing, not only for what you've done for the city of Lambertville. I mean, you've done so much. You guys have done so much both in the public eye and behind the scenes. I don't think a lot of people realize that. You've worked tirelessly on a lot of committees and other efforts, and the city and the market has been such a vital part of this city. And we really appreciate all you guys have done. And, this will be an end of an era. So we say congratulations on your success and congratulations on your retirement, but also thank you. And we look forward to seeing what's up next for the Clossons.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And honestly, it really is. It's our hope and dream that it can continue to be used by the community and Homestead continues. And
that's nice.
No, just be the best for everybody.
Yeah. And I know my in-laws are up there smiling down.
Oh, that's nice. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.